I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't see
Um,
us popping up yet, though.
yeah, I think he's just
Don't
waiting to
see
come
us.
on.
Okay, well, we are live at the Ancient Angels podcast, brought to you by you guys, members that donate to me and keep me motivated to keep making videos and keep this going. So I appreciate every one of you that donates to me. I am so thankful and humbled that you guys love to do that, and it helps a lot. And I'm gonna, guys, I'm gonna try to like get doing this full time. JT is jumping and doing this full time,
Pretty
so
pretty close. Getting there.
we're getting there. Yeah, yeah. So that's gonna be a cool thing. And then there's so much more things we can start bringing in once we do that. Why is the live not live yet? Are we live?
Yes, we are. Mm-hmm.
Okay, there it goes. All right, sweet. Now I can bring up our chat. And today is going to be a very interesting show. Hey, there's the people. There's my peeps. All right. So we are going to. I'm just going to kind of wing it today. So I'm going to be doing this as we go. So I'm going to be going from without even looking at any things. I should be okay. I think I'll be all right, but whatever. Um,
You want to go to full screen? Looks like we're
I'm gonna have to. Yeah, let's go to full screen. Let me do that, and then I'm also gonna share my screen and share the screen. Share the screen. Let's do this. Screen. Because today we're going to be talking about Japanese and Hebrew. So, this should be a pretty fun subject. Um, there's a lot of stuff related to this subject that, I haven't quite put all the pieces together. And we're also going to be talking about the Nephilim connection with this and maybe a little bit about demons. But we're going to be breaking into some stuff in the Japanese lore and history that I think is going to put a lot of pieces together for a lot of people. And something else that's also interesting about Japanese lore, I'll just say right now, that is that um, there's a understanding between this kind of stuff that ties into um, the Nephilim in such a way that is very prominent. And I did one talking about some of the creatures of myth, and it's very interesting. But there's also a lot of stuff that ties in from the Japanese lore into what I believe is the theory of Christianity spreading all over the earth, which I'm pretty sure happened. So, I mean, JT and me, we talk about this a lot, or even like maybe like the little season. Oh, I can't say that directly. If people are new, they might get freaked out, but that kind of stuff. Um, so I want to bring something up real quick. Hold on, sorry guys. I'm doing this
lots of
last
super
minute,
chats already, Brian. People are quite generous.
dude. Thank you guys. I appreciate you all so much. I appreciate it so much. I'm very thankful. Um, Amazing. Okay. That's going to keep me going, making videos. Okay, so let's share the screen. Let's do this. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you all. Thank you for donating and helping me keep doing this. Okay, check this out. Ready, everybody? Now, I've described this before. This is Japanese. Can you see that? I don't know. Maybe you can. I'm not sure. But the hopefully you can see it. Can you see that, JT? Is
Yeah.
that clear enough? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this word right here is means in Japanese or ancient Chinese, it means jinn. Okay? Like Gentile. Okay? And this word is the word for heaven. Okay? And this word is the word for giant. So it's people mated with the children of men, mated with the children of heaven, and they bore giants. Do you see the progression in a row? It's pretty simple when you look at it. And jinn also happens to mean demon, okay? But it also happens to mean people. And that's because the jinn or the Gentiles is us. We are the Gentiles. We are the giantiles, descendant of giants, which is, again, what I talk about explaining that. The word Gentile does not mean what people think it means. It doesn't mean non-Jew. It means non-human. It means descendant of giants. And in fact, when we get to the term for what the Japanese people were actually called originally, this is what they were called. Okay, wo or wa. Okay, this is what the Chinese character wa was historically used by Chinese to refer to people of Japan, and it can be interpreted as dwarf. Do you see that? Dwarf or submissive or distant, but the word is dwarf. So Chinese people originally called Japanese people dwarves. That's their word, okay? That for the original people of the island of Japan. This. And what this word is this is the symbol for tree, and this is the symbol for woman, and this is the symbol for, well, it's half the symbol for stop. So stop tree woman, that's literally their word for dwarf. I mean, I guess you could call it like stumpy tree woman. Maybe maybe that's like, I don't know, maybe that's something where it comes from. But this is the original word. This is how you say dwarf, as you can see, means dwarf, was given to them. It says the character pronounced wu or wa was used by the Chinese to refer to the inhabitants of Japanese archipelago, particularly in the second century AD onwards. It could be interpreted as submissive, distant, or dwarf, depending on the context. Okay, while Japanese adopted the character to represent their own people, they later found it the negative connotation of dwarf or submissive to be undesirable. The Japanese had their own native term for the country, Yamato, which they used to refer to their people. Okay, in the 8th century, the Japanese officially replaced the character dwarf, okay, with the homophone wa, which means harmony, peace, and balance. This shift marks conscious effort to distance themselves from the potentially offensive Chinese term. The character wa continues to be used in Japanese culture. These terms like wa hoshu, Japanese food, using the same pronunciation and character. Since the 3rd century, Chinese has called the people of Japan archipelago, something like wa, which means dwarf. Okay, so
what about the gas station chain Wawa?
Dwarf. Small.
Okay.
Submissive dwarf. Actually, maybe it's submissive dwarf. That's pretty funny. So yeah, I don't know. This is literally
It's a
where
weird
this
name
stems
for a
from.
gas station, isn't it? I mean, has anyone else heard a alternative reason they named it Wawa?
Who knows at this point? I'll tell you guys something funny. Actually, since you brought up Wawa, I'll mention like, okay, my website got taken down like this week by Zaza or Zozo, which, by the way, Zozo is a demon that controls Ouija boards. And so Zozo's the demon. And they took down the Demon Racers website. I thought it was pretty funny. And it literally, when you'd go to Demon Racers, it said, like, welcome to Zozo Town. And Zozo's like the demon of the Ouija board. And then they put some other stuff on there to try to like make it sound scary or whatever. But I think it's comical that they put it in Zozo Town. So Wawa, Zozo, this kind of name has got a lot of connotations associated with demonic things, I think.
What about the giant tribe mentioned, I think, in the book of Genesis, the Zuzumim? Isn't that what they're called?
Yes, yeah, exactly. Zuzu, Zaza, like
Yeah, I
this
think
is,
it's like Zuzumin. I think that's how you pronounce it.
yeah. And then the Zuzu or Zozo, that's another name they go by. Zozo is another name for the demon. Or Zazu in The Lion King, that's where he gets his name from. Zazu, that little stupid bird. That's literally the demonic name. It's just a sort of a subtle diversion to him not being a demonic entity, but it is a demon. So anyways, just there's a lot of funny name association with this kind of stuff. So now people might be like thinking, okay, that's weird. Why are the Japanese people considered dwarfs? Well, they're also considered jinn. That's their word for, people was jinn. So they were a race of people that were small, and that they were gentile, which means descendant of giants, which is why they got the word stump or stop, which stop tree woman is literally like, I haven't quite figured it out yet. I gotta like break it down and like really pray about it and think about like what that could possibly be referring to. But the tree and the woman is obviously Eve, who went to the tree and the woman. So it's like almost like stop tree woman. I don't know. I don't know. What do you think that could be? I'm trying to think of it right now. It's like a puzzle.
Um, got me.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one. So the Japanese characters usually always kind of have like a narrative connected to something biblical, it seems, or ancient Chinese. Now, now even more so, guys, this is the Japanese language next to Hebrew. Do you see the similarities? So a lot of people don't know, but the Japanese people basically came from the Hebrew connection. Okay, they're Hebrew roots. Now look how you pronounce these words. Okay, these letters: ka, ku, ka, kwa, ka, like th, t, n, like this is f, ri, li. Like this is literally the same sounding letters, the same shapes. It's just some of them are a little bit more exaggerated, and some of them are like cocked sideways a little bit differently. Like this one's sideways than this one's sideways than this one. This is Hebrew and Japanese sounds connected to these letters. Is that not fascinating right there? That's like, I don't know. I think that is incredibly fascinating when you see that. Like, that is like a mirror reflection. Is that not? Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, how do you
Mm-hmm.
deny that? I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, it's close. Well, who was the people who supposedly lived in Japan before the current Japanese people lived there? You know what I'm talking about? Isn't it something that starts with an A?
Um, I'm trying to recall from memory. I don't know.
It's like the
Um,
it's not like the
Aikido
Anyu or something like that, is it?
on you. That I mean, that could be. That could totally be something. I mean, the Anunnaki would make sense
Mm-hmm.
if it was the Anu. Like it would definitely be a connection for sure. So the I don't know, Google it, see if you can
Yeah,
find
I'm gonna look it
something.
up.
Because this right here based on ancient Hebrew. This is ancient Hebrew stuff in connection to Japanese text. So it is very much connected. But people don't put the two and two together. So like the interesting part is a lot of the Japanese text has Jesus or biblical references. And for those that don't know, you can watch the previous video where I talk about Japanese connection to the Nephilim giants and all that other stuff. Maybe somebody commented. Oh, where's my comment box? Where did it go? Hold on. There it is. Comment box came back. All right. The my children played with Azuzu pets. Somebody mentioned. Uh, yeah, there's a lot of they put a lot of demonic stuff in children's toys, unfortunately, in children's stuff. So I don't know if that's the name of some child's toy or something, but
Yeah, the people who
definitely
lived there were several people mentioned, but the people that I was talking about was the Anu,
ah
Ainu.
the Anu, yeah, the Anunnaki, like
Kind of kind of similar. I think these people were supposedly white.
mhm. That makes yeah, that would make a whole lot of
White people.
sense. That would definitely make a whole lot of sense. So yeah, the yeah, definitely for sure something connected there to the Anunnaki. I would imagine there's some like historical context thing. Now, this is where I want to get into something
Wait, check it
else.
out, Brian. So these people,
What?
they said, I asked if they were white, and it says they had lighter skin, wavy or curly hair, more body and facial hair.
Wow.
Kind of that
Interesting.
kind of sounds like it describes a certain type of people.
Yeah, it does sound like a Nephilim type-ish
No,
people, I
I don't
would
know if it's
imagine.
Nephilim types. What if it was more like Hebrew types?
Ah, yeah, it could be. Yeah, absolutely. That definitely could be. Now, when it comes to this, we're going to talk about a character. His name is that little red-faced character, Tengu. that you see in your phone with that little emoji. Okay, emoji. Tengu emoji. This guy. Y'all seen this in your phone and you thought, what a weird looking stupid emoji.
Makes no
Why is
sense.
that?
Makes no
Why
sense
is
why it's there.
no? And it was there since the beginning, guys. This is one of the earliest emojis added to the thing. You're like, what is this long nosed, red faced, stupid looking little emoji?
It's calling it a goblin emoji too.
Yeah, they call it a goblin too, but it's Tengu specifically. Excuse me. So this is actually Tengu. Okay, this is Tengu. All right. And for those that don't know, Tengu, he's got a long nose. He's got a little black box on his head. He's got wings in most cases. He wears this little vest. He has a little hyssop branch that he carries all the time. Okay, a little branch in his hand. And yeah, this is Tengu.
He looks like a
All
fallen
right.
angel for sure.
Well, he there's for sure connections to some stuff here. So this is Tengu. He's got notice as he has a big nose. Sometimes he has a bird nose. It says, or a hook nose, or a large nose. Okay, and so when you look at the old drawings of Tengu, he's a man with this big nose. He's got red skinish because it's like because he was different looking. Okay, and then he brought the Tora no Maki to the Japanese people. Okay, the Tora no Maki. Just so you know, Tengu Tora no Maki. So this is the scroll that he brings to the Japanese people with the hyssop branch in his hand and the scroll. This is the Tora no Maki. No Maki means scroll of. Tora, the scroll of the Torah. Okay, Tengu brought the scroll of the Torah to the Japanese people. All right, this is so obvious that it is connected to biblical context. It's insane. Torah, the
Dang, he
Bible.
looks
He
like the
brought.
Baphomet right there.
Oh yeah, for sure. He looks like a bad guy.
That's
I'm
some
sure.
serious Baphomet vibes right there.
But yeah, he brings the scroll of the Torah, and he has a big nose, and he has a hyssop branch. Okay, what is the branch that they spear the blood of the lamb over the
Well, they
doorways?
they definitely used the hyssop branch when they were doing the cleansing rituals. When they would, all the
Uh
stuff that
huh.
is in the news about the red heifers, when they were doing cleansing things, they would burn the red heifer and they would take the ashes and they would put it in water, and then they would take the hyssop branch in there and they would sprinkle it on things. So I guess it's probably used in other places where they sprinkled things, but I do know specifically it was in that cleansing ritual.
Yeah. Look at this. This is what they used it for too. The
For
Passover.
putting the blood over
The
the doorpost.
put yes, and you're like, okay, so he has the branch in his hand, and he's got the little black box on his head. So what's the little black box on his head? Do you know what the Jewish practice of Jewish
That's got to
Teflon?
be related to Saturn.
Oh, it is for sure, but but they didn't know that at the time. So this is the Jewish practice of the Teflon. Okay, they put a little black box on their forehead that they put scriptures in. Okay, that was like that's by the way, these are made out of leather. If those don't know, I know it looks like wood. This is actually like formed leather. Did you know that? It's crazy.
The hats that they
It's like
wear.
animal sacrifices. Yeah, yeah.
Remember, they could
Well, we're
never
talking
quite
about
they could
his.
never quite get the hat the right size.
I know they can never. It's like too small, too big. They can't. They seem to can't get that hat. Okay, so here's the little black box though. The and here is the little black box that sits on his head, bro. What do you think the little black? What's the box on his head, dude? Like, what's the box for? Like, this is the Teflon, and you know what this box is called on top of his head? It's called the Tolkien. Okay, the Tolkien
The
and the
Tolkien,
Teflon. Yes,
the
like J.R.
Tolkien.
Tolkien. Yes,
That's
yes, the
wild.
token. So the token or the Tolkien is literally what this black box is called. And he has this box on his head. He has the hyssop branch in his hand. He's got the long nose. What are those people over here known for again? JT? I don't think I'm allowed to say it. I mean, I don't want to be
Big.
anti whatever, you know. But what is the
There's a lot
common?
of things they're known for, Brian, that would get in trouble for talking about.
Yeah. But what if a really big characteristic would be the red this kind of nose? Don't you think it'd be kind of interesting, especially if the people of Japan are having different noses where they're a little bit more flat. So then you see one of these guys and you're like, oh, that dude right there, he's got a big nose. Look,
You know
that's
what?
what they're gonna know about.
You know what it kind of gives me vibes of though as well, Brian. Remember we were just talking about the
Mm.
incubator babies and all the stuff. Don't they kind of got stork? Doesn't Tengu kind of have stork vibes?
Oh, he does for sure. He does have to a stork
I
vibes
mean,
for
that's kind of
sure.
what you would know about a stork, right? Storks have very long noses and wings, and look, it's even got a tail.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't have a tail. That's just like, oh, he does have a tail in that one, but not
Yeah.
always.
I mean, he's
Traditionally, not
obviously got all the
always.
bird features, but
Mhm.
yes, I mean, it definitely's got those kind of stork vibes from Zachariah.
You're
But I know
absolutely right.
that was a woman. Those were women's stork angel things.
Well, I mean, like when you look at this historical context of Tengu, most of them are men, but some of them are birds. So, like, there are these bird Tengu, and then there's these men Tengu. Okay, so there's two different kinds of Tengu. So for some reason, there's like,
Do you think that could be something similar like the plumed serpents sometimes depicted as literally like a serpent with feathers and wings. But then sometimes you see the plumed serpent, it's a man,
you
right?
know,
It's like
well, it could be, but the difference is the man is with the bird people in a lot of the things. Like this is a bird man statue, and then this one's the man statue. And on the other side of this statue, you see the Birdman version as well. So like I'm trying to find one where you see them together. They're together often. So like look, this one, this is the Tengu with the bird nose. Okay.
that one Tingo in the middle, like there, he kind of looks like a little H man. No, the one next to it.
Oh
It's got
yeah,
a little
he
mustache.
does look like a little
It's got a little mustache.
Asian.
That almost looks like the one Kanye's rapping about these days.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's definitely. I think that video got taken down or something,
Yeah,
bro. Did it
I
get taken
found it and
down?
listened to it. Yeah, we'll have to talk about that on an
On
uncut.
JT's mixtape.
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about it on the uncut version of that.
Oh yeah, for sure. We'll discuss that. But this is interesting, guys. So like, look, some of them have the bird nose, some of them have the man nose. All right. So when you're looking into Tengu, like the thing is, they're connected. So it's not like a variation. It's like there's two different kinds of them. Is almost what it's like. Oh, look at this one. This one looks like Baphomet over here for sure. Look at that one's interesting. I don't know what's going
Yeah,
on there.
you know that looks like that. It kind of reminds me of that movie from the '80s called The Dark Crystal.
Oh yeah, it does.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm
it does
talking
look like
about?
it
You know, I was
does.
just thinking
Yeah.
about too when they were seeing that because I said I was scanning through some movies last night to watch something. I was kind of wanted to watch something that maybe had some symbolism in it, and you know that movie The Labyrinth was on there, and some of the
Oh
things
man.
in there, and you think about so David Bowie in that movie played the Goblin King. That movie is so dark.
Oh
That
yeah,
movie
it's
is
so demonic.
real dark. Of course, I can't even believe my mom let me watch that back in the day.
That is a really disturbing thing with the Goblin King, and she like wishes the baby away. That's so
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it's like
Anyways,
sacrificing her little brother.
oh yeah,
So
totally
so
evil.
evil.
Okay, all right, guys. So let's put the pieces together. Clearly, this is Tengu, and he's got all the characteristics. He's got the hyssop branch. He's got the black box. This is the Tenju. Okay, it's not Tengu. It's Tenju. Okay, we have been mispronouncing it. Totally wrong. It's Tenju. All right, and gu, so the word ten means heaven. Okay, the Tengu means heaven, and if you write the word Tengu in Japanese writing, just so you guys see it in Tengu, this is literally this is it. All right, so it means heaven, and this is the word dog, and this is the word scroll. Okay, that's how you write Tengu in Japanese. Heavenly dog scroll. Okay, what did the people call us? The Gentiles. What are they called, JT?
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously they're often called dogs.
They're called the dogs. So Tengu brought the heavenly dog scroll to the Japanese people. He brought the Torah no Maki, the scroll of the Torah, to the Jin, to the Gentiles, to the Jin people of the dwarfs. He brought it to the dwarfs. Tengu means heavenly Jew who brought the Torah no Maki to the people of Japan, which ironically, just so you guys know, this actually could be a weird, twisted perversion image of Jewish people that were Christians that brought, like, that's literally what this is.
I mean, I was just thinking that. I said, that kind of looks like the caricature of, like, the guy rubbing his hands together. Everybody knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yes,
like,
yes. That's exactly what it is.
shown if you go over on X, you see it a lot.
Yep.
But yeah, because I mean, it's kind of like, was this being supposed to be good? Because they don't.
It was good originally.
He does not look like. He doesn't look like he's depicted as something that's good.
See, that's what happens over time. There's a perversion and a distortion. They didn't want you to think this guy was good, but that guy was originally the Jews that brought the Bible to the Japanese people way back in the day. They brought the truth to the dwarfs.
Well, when do you think the this being is depicted to when he visited these peoples?
I mean, I'm sure there's a time zone we can say.
Well, if you think about it, you could say, like, because to play the other side of it, he looks very evil.
Oh, of course he does.
And if you think about it, trying to bring people back under the law after Christ came, maybe that's why he's depicted as somebody who doesn't look good. Putting people under a curse.
Bring the Torah no Maki to the people, to the Japan. We'll say that. Let's say when did they? Let's see if it's got a time. Around the 7th century. Ooh.
So
that
he was not good.
That sounds bad. That sounds like, oh shoot.
Yeah, maybe he's not the good guy here, and that's why he looks like a red demon.
Well, you know what else he brought to the Japanese people? You know what else he brought? He brought the way of the samurai to the Japanese people. So he taught people how to fight and how to start war. That's what he taught, guys. And so he gave the Japanese people the way of the samurai, which, by the way, the word samurai in Japanese doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. But the word samurai in Hebrew means warrior of God. Isn't that fascinating?
What do you mean samurai doesn't mean anything?
It doesn't mean it. There's no contextual word connection. We know what a samurai is, but it doesn't mean anything. We say
it's just a name.
Warrior.
Yeah, it's just a name for whatever this is.
Yes,
but
whatever
it's got
the thing
no,
is.
like,
there's no derivative root from the thing.
Okay.
It's nothing. It's just a word that we know that this is called samurai. But samurai actually means warrior of God in Hebrew. So that right there alone should tell you enough. And then Tengu taught them how to use the swords and how to fight. So yeah, Tengu might have been a pretty bad dude.
He doesn't look like a good guy.
He could have been a good guy because he did bring the Torah to them, but also, maybe he was trying to put them under the law and separate them from the truth of Jesus, honestly, because Jesus already spread to the Japanese people, which is why in Japanese text, do you know how do you write the word 10? 10 in Japanese. It's this. And do you know how you say 10 in Japanese? It's Jew. It's a Christian cross, and it's pronounced Jew. Who is the Jew that died on the Christian cross? Right here. That's it.
Oh yeah.
And that's the number 10 also. So their 10 is Jew, but it also means heaven. Okay, it means heavenly. Like the word 10 means heaven to us because of the 10 commandments. So there is so much Japanese overlap in the culture and in this like whole perspective. Okay, another one in the Japanese culture. Where are we at with time? Where are we at? What are we looking at? Let me see here.
I might still have about, I still got 35 minutes ish.
All right. I just don't want to get us over for you. The okay. So this is super fascinating, all of this. The we got 30 minutes. Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. So, let me bring this up. Sorry, guys. So, another one that I'm going to bring up that is very fascinating. We'll just go back to screen sharing this. How you guys tracking so far? How's everybody doing? Dude, thank you guys for the donations. Oh my gosh. I appreciate you all so much. You guys are amazing. Thank you. Wow. Wow. Whoa. I'm like blown away. You
That's
guys
what I
are
said.
amazing.
That's what I
Oh
said
my
right at the
gosh.
beginning. Everyone's hitting that super chat button.
Dang. Farm BJJ Farm Mom. I appreciate you. Miles, I appreciate you. Rusty, what is that? Shackleford. I can't. Maybe I'm pronouncing that terrible wrong. I'm so sorry. Thank you so much, man. I prayed for you. Oh, okay, sweet, awesome. Thanks for jumping on the prayer call. I pray for people. So yeah, thank you guys. Irene, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, you guys are amazing. Okay, last night, cashier at JT asked, "Do you know who Goku is?" I said, "Yeah." "Do you know they're all named after demons?" and he's Satan. They freaked out. Love it. I love it. It's great when people tell the truth. It's like, boom, it hits you. Um, no, thank you, Irene. Again, you hear the Lord speaking. That's amazing. Love it. Love it. You guys are
Brian,
also awesome.
Where did the Oni fit into this story?
Okay, well, the Oni are a very fascinating subject. So let me get us back to here. But first we go into the Oni because the Oni, that's such a convoluted Nephilimized subject, and there is so much to it. So what I first got to talk about is the Mikoshi shrines. All right, we got to talk about this first because before we go into the Nephilimized um, Mikoshi shrine, before we go into the Nephilimized roots, we got to talk about this, okay? Because it's right there, plain in your face, a golden arced looking temple-y thing that you see these people in Japan carrying, okay? And they carry this thing on their shoulders with sticks, okay? And they chant, Washio, Washio. And they also chant another thing that means basically, it doesn't really have a meaning. Their word doesn't have a meaning. It means nothing. But there's similar words in Hebrew that when they're chanting this, that sounds like to work together, or he brought us together, or to bear up the presence of the Lord. That's literally what they're chanting when they're carrying this through the town, which doesn't mean anything in Hebrew. And they oftentimes put birds on the top of it and camels, which they don't have camels in Japan. For those that don't know, there's no camels in Japan. So JT, what does this golden looking carried shrine resemble to you, my friend? What do you think that is?
I mean, it certainly looks like the Ark of the Covenant. If I
It
had,
sure does. Why would they be bringing and carrying the Ark of the Covenant through Japanese streets and chanting potentially Hebrewic words? Is that not incredibly fascinating?
no, because maybe Tengu tried to put him back under the old covenant.
That's exactly what happened. Tengu did. Tengu tried to put him under the Jewish law in the Old Covenant and got them celebrating this. Tengu brought this kind of stuff, all the Jewish tradition.
Oh, that
But the
other one
crazy
looks like
part
it's got.
is,
Does it look like it has like one of those images? It looks kind of like it's got a menorah on there.
oh, let me see
You see the one on the go
this
to the
one.
very far right your screen down.
Oh yeah, this one. Oh yeah, that's interesting. Well, it's a bird, but yeah, it does look like a
Well, how
bird and a
many?
menorah.
Yeah, how many? Like how many candles does it look like it's got? It looks like it's got
One,
9.
two, three, four, five. Yep, nine. It does. It says
And
nine.
obviously, if you read the Bible that we have, the menorah has 7, but
Mm.
in the Hanukkah story, it's got 9.
Yeah, that's interesting. That is interesting. Very interesting. Good catch. I didn't even notice that one. But yeah, this is. I mean, This is very. I mean, this is very fascinating. This is an old one apparently. So Gion spirit body removal. What? This is so interesting. So when you guys start looking into this, this is literally the Ark of the Covenant reenactment. Okay,
Wait,
but it
go back
became
to that picture
perverted.
real quick, Brian. The one you were just at.
This one?
What's that what's that symbol at the bottom? It's funny because that's the exact symbol for OSB.
Oh, it is, huh? I don't know. I don't know what that symbol. That's the also the symbol that they put in that in Naruto. Almost looks like the eye symbol that
Isn't that
Naruto
weird that
has.
that's the symbol for OSB?
Is it?
The
Oh my
studio?
gosh.
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
is. You're right. It is.
Mm-hmm.
It totally is. It means something.
Yeah,
I'll have to look into
definitely
it.
means something.
It's probably some kind of demon name, I'm sure. It's some demonic sigil. Um yeah, that's definitely, yeah, it's definitely connected for sure. But this is the Ark of the Covenant, guys. They are carrying the Ark of the Covenant, but they don't know that they're carrying the Ark of the Covenant. That's the fascinating part. They think it's just like some ritual that they're chanting and marching this thing with the birds on top. Those birds are supposed to be the seraphim angels originally. It just got distorted over time, and over time, and eventually we got down to what we are. So for those that, let's just do Ark of the Covenant. Let's see. Oops. The that this is what they were carrying, guys. This is what they were carrying. See the handles? Like this is how it was carried. They're reenacting this marching and this carrying with the birds on top with their golden shrine. Okay? This is the reenactment of this. And so somebody came to Japan, taught them the Torah, told them to march around with the golden Ark of the Covenant, and then over time, because it wasn't true what they were doing because Jesus already came, I'm guessing it must have just gotten perverted over time.
Mm-hmm.
And so Tengu, just because it was just ritual and it had no authoritative place. So when this all got brought by Tengu, and then Tengu got demonized over time and just started becoming more and more evil, looking at least.
Oh,
And
by the
so
way,
this is all this is all
quick
tethered to it.
correction. I said OSB, which is like the plywood.
It's OBS.
OBS. Yeah, somebody corrected me in
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
chat.
yeah, yeah,
And somebody
yeah.
also said it
Doing
kind of
these.
resembles three sixes, and I was like, yeah, it does a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point. It does. It does kind of look like three sixes for sure.
Kind of like
It could
a little
absolutely
a
be.
little Chrome, Google Chrome vibes.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So this is the connection to let me bring up another one. Let's do this. So this is basically the connection of the fact that all of this is tethered to Japanese lore, and like where this falls in the short season concept. I think, judging by 7th century, supposedly, that Tengu brought this. Like, the Mikoshi shrines supposedly were lasting longer as well, but they chant something in Hebrew. Supposedly, it means, by the way, when they're carrying these Mikoshi shrines, it means like to bear up or to come together or something like the presence of the Lord. I forget exactly what the terminology is. I gotta look it up and get it right. But and it's different in certain areas in certain regions. They also have a bunch of lore in Japanese text that they believe in certain mountains. I think they have a Mount Moriah, which is Mount Moriah, okay, and Mount or Moriah is another name for it. Yeah, and that mountain, there's like this concept or this belief or this thought that basically these priests went up the mountain to sacrifice a ram or a deer, okay? And they ended up having to sacrifice a deer at the top of the mountain. Does that not sound like very similar to the story of Abraham and Isaac going up the mountain and sacrificing the ram that gets stuck in the tree, okay?
Right, and that's
At
and
what
where
mountain is
that
that
was,
one on?
yeah,
Yeah.
and where that took place, that's where the Temple Mount is. That's Mount
Yeah.
Moriah.
Mount Moriah. So isn't that
Yeah,
funny that they're in Japan, they've got a mountain named after this kind of similar thing with a similar tale that's not quite exactly it. It's just like a distortion. And there's actually a few different stories in Japanese lore about priests going up a mountain to sacrifice a deer. There's multiple. They have multiple tales and multiple like constructs throughout their historical narrative, and it's got different names in all of it. But there's a lot of overlap when you realize the Japanese people are living a traditionary like thing from all their religious perspective is all perversions derived from Hebrewic like theological like stories and texts that have just been perverted over time. That's what it all is, all of it. Like, and so you can look at anything in their language, and then there's their language or their culture. Almost all of it connects to like traditional, like Hebrewic, like sort of distortion in a sense. And things distort over time. They get twisted over time, and they get perverted when they're not the truth.
Yeah.
So
Especially if they
that's what
say,
happens.
like we were saying, especially if they say it was in the 7th century, which would make me believe that they don't know when they did
Yeah,
this, because
yeah.
likely that there really wasn't even a 7th century, because there was 700 years added to the first 1,000 years of AD chronology. That I did learn that somewhat recently. There was an interesting article about that a lot of the Eastern histories were not put in a chronology until the Westerners gave them one.
Yeah.
So
Oh
it's
yeah.
like
That's
so they don't have a real they didn't have like a dating system, or they did, but it was ignored and it was put into the current dating system we have. So it's likely, I mean, it wasn't the 7th century. They don't really know when
no.
it was, and they just decided this sounds good enough to me.
Yeah. Well, they had to fill in the gaps of
Yeah.
the
Hmm.
Dark Ages with some kind of historical context, so they filled it in with some way. But likely Tengu probably showed up in 1776. That would be my guess.
Well, no, it's
That
interesting to think about what if
would...
it was right around the times of, like, sometimes around after the Roman Jewish War, and there's people going out east. They were
Oh yeah, yeah,
leaving,
yeah.
so maybe that could have been a very similar. Which actually is interesting, because Gunnar Heinzen was putting Jesus in the 8th century,
Mm.
so it's like right around the same time period. It would have been
Oh,
when
interesting.
all that stuff went down.
Yeah, that would make sense too. Yeah, that would be yeah. So they could just be the Jews like spreading out and then
Hmm.
just trying to escape or something, and then pushing their cultural perspective onto this, and then eventually the people just kind of broke away. Now, historically, when the little mustache man was attacking people, I don't know if you guys know, but Japan actually housed a bunch of the escapees, even though they were working with Mustache Man. So they actually protected them. So, which is very interesting. So there's actually little Jewish sects or groups of those people that have survived in within the Japanese culture. There's like little
Hmm.
Jewish culture groups that like have mixed in.
I thought Japan
So
was pretty much an ethno state.
I mean, it is, but that was like a thing that they did back in the day. They like brought those people in and made they had little cultural places. I don't know if those cultural things have like muted into society or if they've left or whatever, but that's how it was when they were escaping. So they had little areas that were for them.
Hmm.
I'm sure there's probably something connected to it today. Let me see right now. We'll just type in Hebrew Japan. Let's see culture. Let me see if I can find anything on it. Yeah, there is. I watched a video on it once where um there was some connection. Oh, I just found exploring Jewish roots of Japan. I just found a website that's like Jewish roots of Japan. This is fascinating. The oh, I'm gonna have to go through this in more detail, guys. This is a lot more involved than anything that you would notice. Oh, this is a pretty cool thing here. Let me bring this up. So, share screen. Guys, I appreciate you all. Thank you more for the donations, guys. You're amazing. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Max Packs, awesome. Appreciate you guys. And Do 59, you're amazing. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. All the donations. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Okay. So check this out,
Just
guys.
your
So
Jewish
this
knowledge.
is
That's a trap.
this is the tabernacle, and this is the Shinto shrines. Just so you guys look at this. Look at how they're set up. Okay, this is the gate, the tori, and this is like the holy of holies. So they've got a honden and the steps, the heiden, the holy. Okay, the honden and the heiden, the holy of holies and the holy. Like, do you see the similarities in this, guys? Like, this is like so connectedly obvious in a Shinto shrine that it's a recreation of the tabernacle. They literally, this is how their things are all set up. Isn't that fascinating?
What's this Jacob and Esau story? What does it say
I don't
there?
know. In Japanese mythology, the imperial family and the entire Japanese nation are considered descendants of forefather and founder Ninigi. But Ninigi was not supposed to be the forefather. According to Japanese tradition, there was another who was to be appointed in his place. But while others prepared the Tyred, the younger Ninigi was born, came down from heaven, and secured the role of the founder of the Japanese nation. Huh? What story does that sound
Oh
like?
wow, sounds like
In the
yes, it was
same,
Jacob and Esau.
yeah, in the same way, according to the Bible, it was Esau and Jacob's older brother who was the firstborn and therefore is set to become father of God's nation. But while Esau was hunting for deer, Isaac gave God's blessings to the younger brother and became the forefather of the
Oh,
Israelites.
this one's crazy. The second paragraph where it says, after
After
Ngidi
go
comes
for it.
down from heaven, he falls in love with a beautiful woman named Konohana Sakoyu
Sakuya.
Time and wants to marry her, but the father asks him to marry her elder sister. In the same way, the Torah
Whoa.
relates that Jacob fell in love with the beautiful Rachel, but her father Laban tells Jacob, Laban, I thought it's Laban,
Laban,
Jacob,
yeah.
that he cannot give the younger sister before the elder. Ooh, that is
Wow.
interesting.
Wow. Dude, isn't that fascinating?
So
Bears a
that's
child
pretty
named,
weird. That
yeah.
story is in Japan.
Yeah, guys. So like the thing is, like, right now, if you're just a Christian, you don't know about the historical context or like the little season. How do you explain this? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're like, well, this is a weird one to explain, because you're like, clearly this came from somewhere, from something. So this culture had to have spread all over the earth. You know what I mean? Like, and what does it say? This message will spread, and then the end will come. The message will spread
Yeah,
all
yeah.
over the
The
earth, and then
the
the end will
the
come.
gospel of the kingdom will be preached to the whole world, and then the end will
Yep,
come, as it says in Colossians
bro.
1:23 that it was preached to every creature under heaven.
Yep. And people are still like, oh, but there's people in African islands and places we don't know where the message hasn't been preached. Fool, the message has been preached everywhere. Like, it's our historical context. It's just been perverted to this point, but they knew about the historical context. Like, all of it stems from biblical narration. Like, this is all the should you also have a ritual resembling the elements of the Jewish holy or holiday of Sukkot, just as the Jews wave the Lavel branch. Shinto priests wave the Sakaki evergreen branches. Often prior to waving, they dip them in salt water and wave them in front of the people in order to purify them from sin and uncleanliness. Compare this to the practice of the Jewish priests who would dip the branches in the hyssop tree into the red heifer compound and sprinkle unclean Jews with it in order to purify them. Dude, there is so much. People of God, the Jewish did somehow influence ancient Japan. How did they get there? Among the samurai sect, there was a tradition that their ancestors came to Japan from Western Asia 660, 62 years earlier, and 722 BCE. Or the tribes of Israel were defeated and exiled from the land of Israel. Some believe that these Israelites who traveled the Sika Road to the east and settled in China and Korea were invited by the Japanese ruler to settle in Japan. The samurai were the guards of the Japanese emperor, and the word shares the same letters as the Hebrew word for guard, shamurai, shamur, okay, shomer. Shomerai. That's it. So the Japanese derived their name from the nation's main tribe, Yamato. The Yamato are a dominant ethnic group in Japan, comprising approximately 98 the country's population, but the phonetics of the word has no meaning in Japan or in Japanese. In Hebrew, Yamato is a combination of Ya, which means God, and Umato, which means people. In other words, Yamato means the people of God or
Oh wow,
God's
they
nation.
called their god Yah.
Yes. Yeah, well, they call their people Yamato. They say their Yamato is the name of their people. But Yamato means people of God in Hebrew. Isn't that fascinating?
Yeah,
Like,
that's wild.
dude, it's so there's so many connections. It's just like, bro, this is oh, this is interesting. What is this about the Mizora is a unique Japanese not appeared to either Chinese or Korea. There's also an ancient samurai hairstyle that resembles Payot Jewish side locks. It's called Mizora. Oh look, dude, look at this. This is like they have the
Yeah.
locks in
Mm-hmm.
the Hebrew. Dude, isn't that dude? It's so much connections. There's so many connections. Um, the shofar. This is interesting. Robe called the corner garments is white tassels. Dude, this is great. So there's when you start looking into this stuff. For those who want to look it up, exploring Jewish roots of Japan. There's so much connections. And let's see, what else did we need to go over here? How much time we got? Where are we
I
at,
got
bro?
about 13 minutes.
Okay, we got 13 minutes. Let's see if we can cram the Oni into this
Yeah,
in
let me
13
share my
minutes.
screen real quick. I found a picture of the
Okay,
Oni
all right.
that's sort of interesting.
All right, let me bring this in. Okay, we'll stop
I'll
my
just do a quick
screen
screen
sharing.
share. It's
All right, go
related.
for it. I should do dreads. Oh, that's funny.
What does that guy look like?
Yeah,
I'm not
I'm not gonna
saying,
say it.
I'm not saying, but those are the guys who know what I'm talking about. You guys know. A picture
Oh,
speaks 1,000 words. All those words would get you demonetized.
dude. Yeah, we can't say certain things for
That's
sure.
it. That's noticing too much.
thanks for tripping over the like button there, Max. I'm gonna bring up. Okay, so the Oni stories in Japanese lore. Now there is a lot of Japanese lore, but you know what? I am gonna say one thing. I mentioned this on the previous podcast. Um, you mentioned the word Atari, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
You remember we brought up
Mm-hmm.
Atari?
Mm-hmm.
Was that on live or was that on?
Yeah,
I think it
I
was
think
on
we were talking
JT
about it. Might have been it
mixtape.
was a week or two ago. I guess we are
It
talking
was on
about it.
JT's mixtape though. It wasn't on here, right?
Can't even
So
remember now. It's all
okay, so
it's all blending together.
I know it's all mixed. So Atari, just so you guys know, is Atori. It's Atari. It means from below. That's literally what it means in Latin. You can look up Atari. That's the word from below. It's where we get Tartaria, Tartary, Tari, Atari. Okay, so the video game Atari literally stems from below. It's like telling you that it's from Tartary or from something wicked in a sense. But that and you can't not separate the Japanese culture into video game stuff because there's so much of it. And then
Nintendo.
yeah, Nintendo, which means try hard, but in the end it's in God's hands. It's actually like a phrase, I guess you could say, Nintendo. And that phrase, originally was a card game. So Nintendo was a card game, and they also distributed like risque, borderline pornographic stuff. I think originally some of their things it was like girls naked girl thing going on there, and some older text before Nintendo became this kid friendly, lovable thing that it all is now.
What about the
What do you say?
Atari logo? It's kind of interesting.
Mm.
It kind of resembles like a giant tree stump or something.
It does kind of, I guess, in a sense, that those two
I mean,
little.
it could be something else, but it does it resemble
Mm.
Japanese characters as far
Let
as
me
like letter.
see. Let me see what it looks like. So I'm going to tell you guys right now. I have a. Yeah, it's resembles. I have this app, and I'm gonna give you guys one of my researching tools here for those that have came this far. I have an app, all right, and it's called Kanji Lookup. All right, this is it. I don't know if you can see that. It's called Kanji Lookup. All right, and it's looks like this. And so what I can do, and this is how I learned a lot of like I study a lot of linguistic connections, but I can draw Atari's logo in here. Can you see my screen? I don't know if you can even see what I'm doing, but I can.
No. I mean,
Okay,
maybe they can.
I can draw this.
It's pretty
So I
wide. It's
drew
pretty whited out.
Atari's. Okay, well I drew the Atari symbol, and it will show me other words that look like the Atari. I just draw it, and then it'll give me a list of words that are similar. So
Okay.
this is actually how I do some research and figuring out words. So if you guys want to look into some stuff that are similar to Hebrewic words or symbols that you find, you can actually type it in this kanji lookup, and you'll find things. You can even like recognize demonic sigils. They'll give you better understanding in names in Japanese and Hebrew because it again Japanese Hebrewic connections are very similar. So right now when I draw Atari's logo, I get a few different words. I get person, which is Jin. Okay, so it's the word Jin in a sense with an extra leg in the middle. And then there's eight, and then it also comes up with table, but that's these are all words that I already know, but they don't. I don't think it means anything. The closest would be Jin. Um,
Here's the old Atari logo. Brian, have you ever seen this one? I hadn't.
oh no, I've never seen that one. Looks like SA, like satanic
Yeah, it looks like
abuse.
somebody, yeah, kind of like has the Space Force type like looking symbol in
Yeah,
there.
that's weird.
That's definitely weird.
Definitely strange. Well, it's from below, so The other thing I'd say is when you look at this stuff, there's like, there's so much connection to Nintendo. We're gonna have to do a whole video game thing or a whole thing on video games entirely because Mario Brothers and the checkerboard floor is all tethered to Freemasonic
Masonic,
stuff.
yeah.
Bro,
Hmm.
there's so much stuff in Mario that's connected to it. And then
And
Donkey
Mario's going
Kong.
through portals and all this kind of stuff. It's
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
fights a
And
dragon.
oh yep, yep. There is a ton of Masonic stuff and connected roots to the Mario theme altogether. But a lot of that stuff comes from lore of historical contexts where like the Japanese people had these root stories that they're pulling from where he like the mushroom, there's actually ogres or oni, which were these demons. Okay, these were the Nephilim, by the way. The word ogre or oni in Japanese context is always referring to Nephilim. They were giant, they were hairy, and they had teeth. Okay,
Yeah, I've
this is
seen
this
they
is
had depictions of them having like clubs and
yep.
stuff.
They had clubs. They were the Nephilim guys. They were the Nephilim. So if you see Oni masks and all that stuff, those are the masks with the big face and the teeth. That's Nephilim. That's Nephilim. That's what that
They look
exactly
almost
is.
exact. They look very similar to the Rakshasa.
The Rakshasa, yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
Yep, they
in
look
India.
it. Well, they absolutely are. They're connected to it 100%. And so when we get into this, there's a lot to this. Maybe I'll have to do an episode because we're running out of time. I think. What are we at?
Yeah, I've got about 5 more minutes. But yeah, well, you know what's interesting too, and we were teasing this. Brian had the idea that we'd bring up some kind of little season references in all the movies and video games and culture, and I just kept on thinking about. So you have Lego Ninjago, and I mentioned before that the most recent iteration of that's called Dragon Rising.
Mm.
And of course, you got the ninja, you got Japanese Ninjago. You know, it's about a dragon. It's about a dragon that was chained up for 1,000 years.
That's very, very suspicious.
Yeah,
Very suspicious. Yeah, we have to do a whole cultural thing like that. We're gonna do a whole episode talking about the cultural references because I mean, that's like very telling when you look into it. So, but
definitely.
yeah, the when it comes to the Japanese stuff, like guys, we'll all break into some of the monsters in Japanese lore. So like there's like for instance, there is the kappa, which is this like turtle who's got like a bowl head that's like empty and he grapes we'll say he likes grapes a lot to other people.
Mm.
So yeah, and he does those kind of things. And the Kappa is pretty nefarious, Nephilim-esque type lizard-ish type person. And they've also got like where Donkey Kong comes from. There was this giant. It's called the Iju, okay, and he's this giant hairy monster that kidnaps, like people, and he also kidnaps donkeys. Okay, let me just bring him up.
That is a really weird name for a gorilla, Donkey
It
Kong.
it is such a weird name, but when you know the context of where it comes from, you're just like, oh, okay, this is the Iju. You see this? When you look at this thing, he is this giant hairy thing who carries barrels and boxes on his back, and it just means strange beast. When you look at the term in the text, the strange beast, and this word is all tethered words to the Nephilim, by the way. And so most of the monsters, like this is our original Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong having the barrels on his back, like that's what this
Yeah, so
is.
he throws the barrels.
Yeah, and so he would kidnap people and eat them, and yeah, the Iju. This is the Donkey Kong's sort of original story, but again, he's like a Nephilim kidnapper,
You know what he looks like?
creature.
Have you guys seen that movie Big Trouble in Little China? Have you seen that, Brian?
I have a long time ago, I think.
So that you
Oh
have
look,
Kurt Russell, classic
here he is
80s
taking a
movie.
donkey.
Really interesting. Oh gosh, he's kidnapping a donkey.
Yeah, he's
But yeah,
kid.
so in that movie, there is some kind of beast, some kind of weird thing down in the earth, and at one point, he kidnaps the woman. He looks very similar to that.
Oh really?
Oh yeah.
I don't
hmm
remember. I don't remember it, but yeah,
look up
there's
Monster from Big Trouble in Little China.
Monster Big Trouble Little China. Oh, what that thing is. What is that thing? That's like an oni mixed hairy thing. This is disturbing.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, that thing is hideous.
hmm
He also looks
But it's
slightly
all
like
hairy looking
he's.
too. It's like it kind of looks a little bit like that.
Oh my gosh. Sorry guys. No nightmares for everybody.
The
Thing is
movie's
so
goofy. If you
creepy.
watch it, it's not super scary. That part's not scary.
He looks so retarded looking, but dang, the
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
is.
he is.
You can't say those words.
Yeah, we see.
It's a
Look at
bad
him. Like
word.
it's obviously he's all hairy.
Yeah, that is probably connected from the Iju.
That's pretty
Now
close,
this is
right?
just yeah, for sure. And so, mind you, the word for these things all tether to the word beast. Okay, so this is called mysterious beast, by the way. Okay, so the word beast in Japanese almost always refers to Nephilim. Okay, so if you ever see or the strange beast, that's what Iju is.
Hey
Okay.
Brian, I got to bounce now.
All right,
But
sweet.
you
Well,
can finish up if you want. You probably give it. All right,
I'll just say
people. I love you guys. God bless. I've got to go to a volleyball game.
I
but
know. Have fun.
but thanks for hanging out with us. Thank you all for the super chats. Love you guys. God bless.
All right. Later, JT. And yeah, so anyways, guys, there's a ton of connection to this stuff and then connection to dragons. And maybe we'll do a whole nother thing on this in more detail. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'm gonna jump off too, guys. And I appreciate the super chats and all the donations. Oh my gosh, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Um I appreciate all of your guys' support, and maybe I'll be able to do this more full time and then not be as distracted with all the other things I got going on. Um, so let me see. Oh, I can't stop my screen share, but I don't even know what happened. So the screen is now glitching out on my end. So I guess I'm gonna go. So thank you guys so much, and I hope this is working. And I can't even see myself. But yeah. All right, you guys are awesome. I appreciate you all. Love you all. God bless, and thank you. All right, bye.